Imagine opening a door only to be met by darkness. Would you dare to venture further? In the heart of the city, hidden within the depths of a forgotten alley, we stumbled upon a door. It was an ordinary door, yet its mystery beckoned us. The curiosity was too strong, and we decided to explore. As we pushed open the door, we were swallowed by an abyss of darkness. A beam of light from our flashlight cut through the obscurity, revealing a sight that sent a chill down our spines. It was as though we had walked into a time capsule. Medical equipment, untouched and eerily pristine, lay scattered around. The silence was only broken by the soft hum of our flashlight and our own breaths. We found a switch on the wall, surprisingly still functional in this forgotten place. With a flick, the room was washed in a dim, haunting glow. We were astounded. How could there still be power in such a forsaken place? It was as if time had stopped in its tracks here, leaving behind a ghost of a once bustling scene. The room was divided, much like a hospital ward, full of empty patient rooms. We tread lightly, wary of disturbing the silence. The floor was littered with boxes of paperwork, their contents dating back to the 18th century. The place was devoid of life, yet it held an air of melancholy, like a song left unsung. Water dripped from the walls, creating a rhythmic echo that seemed to be the heartbeat of this abandoned place. One room was filled ankle-deep with water, the reflection of our flashlight dancing on its surface. Ahead, a steel ladder beckoned, leading upwards into the unknown. It was locked at the top, adding another layer of mystery to our discovery. The air grew heavier as we moved deeper into the labyrinth. Some rooms were filled with army equipment, helmets, and clothing, untouched by the ravages of time. As we ventured further, an eerie feeling began to creep upon us. Some lights, despite our best efforts, refused to turn on. In this murky darkness, untouched by time, an eerie quietness prevailed. What secrets might be hidden in rooms untouched for centuries? As we ventured deeper, the beam of our flashlight revealed an unsettling sight. Divided rooms reminiscent of a long-forgotten hospital stretched out before us. The air was thick with age and unease, making us hesitant to touch anything. Each room seemed to hold its own long-lost story, waiting to be discovered. Amidst the eerie silence, we stumbled upon boxes overflowing with paperwork. The dates on these documents took us aback, tracing their origin back to the 18th century. The sheer age of these papers made us wonder what tales they could tell, what secrets they held from centuries past. But the rooms were devoid of life, a stark contrast to their once bustling activity. The only sound to pierce the silence was the steady drip of water, echoing ominously in the emptiness. The source? A room filled with ankle-deep water, the walls weeping with moisture. The sight was as chilling as the dampness seeping into our shoes. As we explored further, we found a steel ladder, a potential escape route to whatever lay above. Yet, our way was barred. A lock, rusted over time, held firm at the top, its key a mystery lost to time. It was a grim reminder that we were not the first to discover this place, and perhaps not the first to be trapped within its cold stone walls. Every corner held a new surprise, a steel ladder leading up but locked at the top. What lay beyond the locked hatch? What secrets did the rooms hold? And who were the hands that penned the centuries-old documents? With these questions echoing in our minds, we pressed on, driven by a need to uncover the mysteries that lay ahead. What if the remnants of a bygone era started revealing themselves? As we ventured deeper into the labyrinth of the past, our senses were assaulted by an eerie stillness. A room tucked away in the shadows caught our attention. It was filled with military paraphernalia, helmets, uniforms, and equipment all frozen in time, relics of a forgotten war. The smell of old leather and mothballs filled our nostrils, painting a vivid picture of soldiers long gone. The room, however, was not the only thing that seemed out of place. Our unease grew as we moved from room to room, our flashlights cutting through the darkness. Some rooms remained shrouded in shadows, their lights stubbornly refusing to flicker on. The consistency of the darkness was unnerving, as if the past was resisting our attempts to illuminate it. In stark contrast to the dust-laden rooms we'd encountered earlier, one room was spotlessly clean. Not a speck of dust, not a single cobweb. It was as if someone, or something, had been maintaining it. The room was an anomaly, a pristine sanctuary in the midst of decay. Its cleanliness was unsettling, a stark reminder of the passage of time and the persistence of memory. As we ventured further, the hum of silence was broken by an occasional drip of water echoing in the distance. It was a haunting symphony, a stark reminder of the building's slow surrender to the elements. Every creak, every rustle, every drop of water that fell, seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Each shadow seemed to dance with stories untold. The air was heavy with anticipation, the silence punctuated by our own shallow breaths and the steady thud of our hearts. Our exploration was transforming into something more than a mere adventure. It was becoming a journey into the very heart of history, a walk through time itself. But with each step, a feeling of unease crept over us, a sense of being watched, of intruding into spaces that had remained undisturbed for decades, maybe centuries. As our exploration deepened, so did the feeling that we were not alone. What if you stumbled upon treasures from an age-long past? Imagine for a moment the thrill of such an encounter. Among the relics of this forsaken place, we found mason jars filled to the brim with ancient coins. Coins that had never been seen by modern eyes until now. Coins that whispered tales of empires long fallen, of kings and queens lost to the sands of time. As we delved deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels, we discovered doors heavy with chains and rusted locks. Each door an enigma, each lock a challenge. What secrets did they guard? What stories were they desperate to keep hidden? We could only wonder. The tunnel seemed to stretch on forever, a subterranean artery that had been forgotten by the world above. The walls echoed with a silence so profound it was almost deafening. Every footstep, every breath, every heartbeat seemed amplified, reverberating off the cold, damp stone. It was a journey into the unknown, a voyage into the heart of mystery. Each turn led us deeper into the labyrinth, and with every step, we could feel the weight of history pressing upon us. We were explorers, pioneers charting an unseen world that had been buried under the layers of time. As we ventured further into the abyss, we found rooms filled with relics of a bygone era. Rooms that had been left untouched for centuries, their contents a testament to the passage of time. There were rusted medical tools, tattered army uniforms, and documents that dated back to the 18th century. Each artifact a piece of the puzzle, each discovery a clue to the history of this enigmatic place. And just when we thought we had seen it all, a manhole appeared. Its rusty exterior a stark contrast to the pristine surroundings. It was an unexpected sight, a door to another world perhaps. But that is a story for another time. Stay tuned, for the journey into the unknown continues. Just when we thought we had seen it all, a manhole appeared. What if the world outside was not the world you knew? The question echoed in our minds as we peered out through the manhole, our eyes straining to take in the sight before us. The hum of traffic was familiar, but the vehicles were anything but. They hovered above the ground, moving fluidly without the telltale rumble of engines or the scent of burning fuel lingering in the air. The absence of wheels gave an uncanny impression, almost as if we were looking at an artist's impression of the future. Each passing moment heightened the realization that we had somehow journeyed far beyond the city's familiar confines. The sight of the hovering, soundless cars was a stark contradiction to the world we'd left behind. A world bound by the laws of physics. A world where cars had wheels and engines roared. It was a silent testament to an advanced civilization, a society that had mastered technology in ways we could only dream of. We stood frozen in disbelief, our hearts pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The sound of our own breathing seemed deafening against the backdrop of the strange, silent world outside. We were like explorers standing on the threshold of a new world, our minds buzzing with questions and apprehensions. Was this a parallel universe? A time warp leading to the future? Or perhaps an alien planet entirely different from Earth? The possibilities were as infinite as they were unnerving. As we stood there on the precipice of the unknown, we felt a strange kinship with the explorers of yore. Just like them, we were about to step into an uncharted realm, where the rules we knew might no longer apply. The fear of the unknown was palpable, but so was the exhilarating thrill of discovery. And so, we steeled ourselves, ready to venture into this brave new world. Our hearts were pounding, our palms sweaty with anticipation. We were explorers standing on the edge of a world we'd never imagined, ready to dive into the unknown. As we prepared to venture outside, we could only wonder what awaited us. What if the world outside was beyond anything you could imagine? Imagine stepping out of the familiar and into the bizarre, a realm where the usual rules do not apply. No sooner had we pushed open the manhole cover than we were greeted by a sight that defied all reason. A forest of trees, but not as we know them. These were exotic, their colors vibrant and their shapes twisted and unusual. Their leaves shimmered with an ethereal glow, casting a spectral light on the strange world around us. We were surrounded by plants of every conceivable kind, and some beyond our wildest dreams. They were unlike anything we had ever seen, their forms and colors so alien, It was as if they had been painted by a mad artist's hand. Some towered above us like giants while others carpeted the ground with their luminescent blossoms. The air was filled with a symphony of sounds, a cacophony of calls and cries that seemed to come from creatures that lurked in the shadows. We saw animals that defied classification. One such creature looked like a goat but with long hair that cascaded down its back. Its face, however, was unsettling to look at, a fusion of the familiar and the grotesque that left us in awe and a bit of fear. The absence of wheels and the silence of the hovering cars in the distance hinted at an advanced civilization, a world where technology had evolved beyond our comprehension. The air was devoid of the usual smell of gas, replaced instead by a scent that was crisp and clean. This was a brave new world, a place where the impossible was every day and the extraordinary was the norm. We were strangers in this land, intruders in a world that was not our own. Yet there was a pull, a lure that beckoned us to delve deeper, to uncover the secrets that this world held. As we took in this surreal world, we knew our journey was far from over. We had stepped through the looking glass and there was no turning back. For in this brave new world, every step was an adventure and every discovery a revelation. What if this was just the beginning of a much larger mystery? Imagine, if you will, standing on the precipice of the unknown. The metallic taste of anticipation on your tongue, the pulse of your heart echoing in your ears as you peer into the darkness. We've discovered a world beneath our own, a world that seems to be hiding in plain sight, yet is so different it's almost alien. The question that haunts us, that keeps us awake at night, is how deep does this rabbit hole go? We've seen medical equipment that predates the invention of electricity, paperwork that's centuries old, and army gear that seems out of place. How did they get here? Who put them here? And why? The answers remain as elusive as the shadows that dance on the walls of this labyrinth. And then there's the mystery of the hovering cars and the strange animals. We've heard of technological advancements, but this is something else. These are not the cars we see in our daily lives. They hover without making a sound, without leaving a trace. And the animals, they're like nothing we've ever seen. Long-haired creatures with faces that are hard to look at. Where did they come from? Are they native to this place, or did they, like us, stumble upon this world by accident? These are not the questions of idle curiosity. They are the seeds of a mystery that begs to be solved, a story that yearns to be told. And we are the explorers, the storytellers, the seekers of truth. We're drawn to the unknown, to the unexplored, to the mysteries that lurk in the shadows. We've barely scratched the surface, and already we've uncovered more questions than answers. But we're not deterred. We're excited. We're ready. We're poised to delve deeper into this enigma, to unravel the threads of this mystery, to shine a light into the shadows. Stay tuned for more. If you like these stories, like and subscribe for more. We'll see what other mysteries we can unearth together.